I want to give all honors and glories and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakakodash, Yahweh, which is the one true name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, but his one true name is Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, meaning coming in the name. Ba means coming in, Ha means the, Shah means name, Rakah meaning spirit, Kodash meaning holy. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect, and shalom to you sincere brothers that are scattered abroad, pushing forth this word in truth and sincerity. And shalom to you sincere sisters that are listening in silence as the scriptures command you to do so. I am the brother Mashiach Razakah, and pretty much this lesson is going to be titled as, mortal thoughts. Rebuke these mortal thoughts. I'm trying to think of a title as I do this lesson, so I'll think of what to title it when I upload this video. But this is pretty much dealing with you, going into you brothers and sisters out there that's dealing with things mentally, spiritually, and physically. You may be feeling low, down. You may be dealing with depression, anxiety, all of these different things. You may be dealing with severe amount of temptation. You might be going through things at work, going through things at home, just experiencing and feeling overwhelmed with all these things in the spirit. And, for a quick testimony for myself, I've been dealing with that for the past week of, this going here, this is going over here wrong, this is going over here wrong, that's going over here wrong. You're doing this and then this is coming and then this is happening. It's a test and it's a trial for you as an individual in this ministry. And you got to keep lifting and pushing yourself and lifting yourself. Okay. Fast, for those situations, if you're feeling depressed, or you may be experiencing anxiety, or you may just be feeling overwhelmed and stressed, you got to hit these scriptures. You got to fast and, give yourself some, when you're doing, if you do get days off, what I'm trying to say, give yourself time, some space to do some prayer, for as long as you can go. Give yourself like 20 minutes, 30 minutes of prayer maybe. Fast, pray, watch some videos of the elders and brothers and, dealing with what you're going through. That's what's going to push you through, reading scriptures, keeping your mind occupied. For me, I keep myself occupied. I read the scriptures. I got a set schedule. I'll read some scriptures for a couple hours and switch from there, do some meditation, do some prayer, switch from there, go do my hobbies, go run, exercise, because you got to be balanced. You can't just sit in the house and just, because if I sit in the house for a long period of time, I'll start bugging out. When you sit in the house and you just dealing with all of these heavy weight of oppression on you so heavy, you'll start bugging out. You gotta go out, man. Give yourself some fresh air. Keep your mind occupied. If it's not the Sabbath, go to the gym. If you don't go to the gym, go to the library. Take your Bible, your scriptures. If there's a library close by, give yourself some time. Listen to some soft music. Read some scriptures. You got to be balanced, man, because if you just sit in the house 24/7, you're not giving yourself no time to get your mind right, reading scriptures, prayer, fasting, doing any of these things, you're going to bug out, especially if you're just sitting in the house. You're going to bug out. Give yourself some air, if you have hobbies, do your hobbies on the side, stay focused on the ministry, but do your hobbies on the side. You got to be balanced, because if not, you will get overwhelmed. You will get overwhelmed, especially if you're not reading scriptures. The elders even said we got scriptures here to guide us that we can read to help uplift our spirit. Okay, and if you're not doing that, it's going to weigh you down and it's going to bug you out. And I'm just speaking for myself first and foremost. So let's get to these scriptures. I rambled long enough. This is 2nd Esdras 14:14. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. It says, let go from the mortal thoughts. Con. So when we go to the meaning of the word mortal there, mortal, it says of living human being, often in contrast to a divine being subject to death, right? Causing or liable to cause death, fatal. A human being subjected to death, often contrasted with a divine being. So that word mortal means death. So when you look it up, it says death, right? It says 2nd Esdras 14:14, let go from the mortal thoughts, death thoughts. Because when you're dealing with depression, as an example, you be wanting to have the spirit of committing suicide. You be wanting to just give up. You just can't do this no more. That's a demon. Okay, you got to fast. Demons, yes, demons do fuck with your mind. Excuse my French, spirits demons, you got demons on you, they'll talk to you. Your mind will start having all these different thoughts. If you have anxiety, that's the spirit of fear. That's a demon telling you you're gonna die, telling your heart is beating too fast. You know, when you're dealing with anxiety, these things help tell you that, oh, you're blacking out. You get the spirit of fear. Everything around you isn't real. You deal with, that's mental attack. You gotta fast. You gotta get these demons off. Demons are going to increase in these last days, especially if you're a Jake that's proclaiming to be a man of the Lord or claiming to be a woman in the truth. These demons will attack you, especially in these last days. Satan knows that we're headed to these last days of receiving salvation, so these burdens are going to be twice as more heavy on you. Okay, so you gotta, you know, build yourself up spiritually. Okay, yes, it's great to do these videos, it's great to do these lessons, it's great to go to camp, but you also gotta keep yourself sharp in the spirit. You know, and one way to do that is fasting, right? Switching up your diet, like the elders and brothers say, switch up your diet. Stop eating the fast foods all the time. Eat some fruits and vegetables. Put some protein in your life, like I do. I put hella protein in my life. I eat healthy. You know, I go to the gym, I exercise, you know, I be balanced. All right. So you got to change your diet up too. Because eating processed foods all the time and eating a lot of junk, it will cause your mind to go into these states, depression and anxiety, because you're not eating healthy. You got to eat some fruits and vegetables. All right. Cut all the fast food, ding dongs, Twinkies, and stuff out. Right? Second Edges 14:14, let go from the mortal thoughts and cast away the burdens of men. It says, put off now the weak nature. And that's the weak nature, the mortal thoughts. Okay, because it causes you to slip. It causes you to fall. It causes you to have all these thoughts. You're getting attacked, right? Second Edges 14:15, it says, set aside the thoughts that are most heavy onto thee. And that's easier said than done. When you're dealing with depression and anxiety and you're in that state of that moment of fear or in the state of that moment of depression, it's easier said than done though. But you must cry out to the Lord, you know, rebuke these spirits, rebuke these demons. That's why the scriptures say, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy onto thee. Whatever you're dealing with in this flesh, work, relationship, just in general, stress, whatever it is, bills, whatever it is out there, you got to give it to the Lord. The scriptures say, I'm going to read it in a little bit, 1 Peter 5:7, cast all your cares upon the Lord. Give it to the Lord. You know, you stress about these things, all you're doing is damaging you mentally. You're damaging yourself more. You're breaking yourself. You're making yourself fall apart. Okay, rebuke these spirits. Rebuke these demons. And you brothers, you know, it's one thing for you brothers, but you sisters are the weaker vessel out there. So it's easier for you to fall apart than it is an Israelite man. Because the scriptures even say that you're the weaker vessel. So you have to hit these scriptures. You know, read these scriptures fast, build yourself up. All right, you Israelite brothers is the same thing. Build yourself up. You got scriptures. You can read them. You can fast. Prayer, you know, it's a must. It says, set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee and haste thee to flee these times. Right. You see that? So you got to, these burdens that's heavy upon you, cast it away. Right. Second Esdras 14:16. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. Right? Because there's going to be, we think that mental attack, anxiety, and, you know, temptation is just so severe. Wait till Jacob trouble come. That's going to be twice as worse than these trials and tribulations that we're dealing with right now. That's baby work. This is amateur work that we're dealing with when it comes to temptation. Wait until Jacob trouble come, if we're around in that time. That's going to be way worse than the little crap that we're dealing with now, or even the prophets in the old time, ancient time. They went through way more turmoil than what we're going through right now. These turmoils that we're going through, yeah, they're havoc. They get us stressed out. They make us upset in the flesh. But the prophets of old, they went through way more stuff than what we went through, that we're going through right now. Right? It says, for look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. Evils shall increase. So we're in the last days. So things are gonna skyrocket. You're gonna deal with more mental attack. You're gonna deal with more anxieties. You're gonna deal with more being attacked by demons and spiritual, you know, spirits attacking you and all that. This is why you got to be built up in the faith. That's why the faith comes in. You got to be more built up, fully persuaded in your mind, right? So the Lord said, cast off the things that are most heavy onto thee. So you can't let these things keep you weighed down. You can't let these things keep you low. You got to keep lifting yourself, pushing, lifting yourself, prayer to the Lord. I pray 3 times a day, every day. I pray when I get up. I pray with the Lord when I get ready to head to this plantation. I pray to the Lord before I go to bed. You should be praying 3 times a day, praying every second you got free time. Spend time with the Lord, man, because he's all that we got, especially in this ministry. 1 Peter 5:7, it says, casting all your cares upon him. Upon who? Yahweh Shemashai. You got to cast all your cares upon the Lord. It says, for he cared for you. See, the Lord cares for us. So all of these heavy burdens and heavy thoughts or these mental attacks and all these things you thinking and what you're dealing with or what you're going through, give it to the Lord. Let the Lord handle it for you. Okay? Stop trying to do everything on your own. Stop trying to take every single matter into your own hands. Stop doing those things because it's only going to make it worse. You try to take all these matters into your own hands and try to do everything on your own, you're going to make things worse for yourself. Okay? You got to be patient. That's why the scriptures say, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, right? The faith worketh patience. So you just got to be patient, man, right? Sirach 2:4. It says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. And that's easier said than done, because when you're dealing with depression or dealing with anxiety, you in that moment of fear and low, right? Giving up, right? But you can't give up. You got to keep pushing. It says, whatsoever brought upon thee, take cheerfully. That's why the scriptures say to take it cheerfully. And it's easier said than done to take that shit cheerfully. I'm saying it in this video, but when it comes your way, it's a whole different ballgame. But you got to literally be fully persuaded in your mind to keep pushing. It says, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. And you got to be patient, right? Be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. Every single brother in this ministry has been put in a lower state sometime or some period in their lifetime. They've been to a lower state. All of us have. Even you sisters, I'm sure you guys been into some type of lower state in your time period. Some time period in your life, you've been in a lower state. And if you have been in a lower state and you got through that, what make you think you can't continually get through those moments? You've been through some hard times. You got to consistently push. You got to consistently push, man. All right. John 14:1, it says, let not your heart, meaning your mind, be troubled. This is St. John 14:1. You see that? It says, let not your heart, meaning your mind, be troubled. Ye believe in Yahweh, right? Believe also in me. And this is Yahweh Shai speaking. The Lord said, let not your heart be troubled, your mind be troubled, right? It says, believe in the Most High, Yahweh, believe also in me. So you believe in your Lord, Yahweh Bashimashai. Have confidence in your prayer. Have confidence in the Lord, all right? Cast it upon the Lord. Give it to the Lord, all right? Whatever is going on in your life, right? Whether you're dealing with family members, you're dealing with people talking about you, give it to the Lord. Ignore they fucking ass. Don't let no one bring you down. You keep pushing. You keep doing what you're doing. Keep pushing. Keep having the faith and keep pulling through. Okay? The Lord Yahweh Bashimashai is with you through all of this. He sees everything that's going on. He sees everything that's going on. So when you're put down to a lower state, you keep pushing. When you out there at work, people may look down on you. People may look low on you. But guess what? The Lord doesn't look at you like that. No matter how many transgressions or mistakes you make in your lifetime, people can look down on you in this world, but the Lord doesn't look down on you. Fuck what they talking about. You keep pushing and you keep doing what you got to do to uplift yourself. That's what keeps me going. I don't give a fuck about nothing. I care about the Lord and him keeping me doing his will. Hey, and if, like I said, if I make it to be the elect, then I'm grateful to the end and blessed with it. If I'm a 2/3, but at least I got to preach the gospel. At least the Lord gave me a shot to do his work and to do his will, regardless of what. Because even though if you're 2/3 here to be destroyed, you're going to be brought back in the kingdom anyway. So at the end of the day, you just keep the Lord first. You stay focused on Yahweh Shemashai. Give all your cares and issues upon the Lord. Don't worry about it. Don't let it mentally get to you because it will fuck you up. You'll fuck around and start losing weight. Being depressed, you'll lose weight. Dealing with anxiety, you'll lose weight. It starts from the root. When them spirits get attached to your spirit, them demons get attached to your spirit, depression and anxiety gets attached to your spirit, it starts drawing off of your energy. And it'll start physically messing you up. It'll rip you up from the inside out. You'll start looking like something literally what's happened to you. You're gone. You don't want to be in that type of situation. I'm speaking of what experience. I dealt with anxiety since the age of 19. All right. And they come here and there, but I know that it's a demon. You got to go on that fast. Sometimes a 3-day fast will help. You know, sometimes a 3-day fast will help. You got to discipline this flesh, man. You can't give this flesh everything and anything. Rebuke these spirits, rebuke these demons, right? Get control of this flesh. You can, right? That's why the scripture said the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak, right? Isaiah 41:10, it says, fear thou not, for I am with thee. See the Lord. It says, be not dismayed, for I am thy power. I will strengthen thee, but you got to be fully persuaded in your mind to know that the Lord will do that though. It says, and I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee, right? Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. So all you got to do is cry upon the Lord and give it to the Lord. Stop trying to take things and matters into your own hands. Stop doing that, because it's going to mess you up. It's going to mess you up, right? Proverbs 3:5, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, meaning mind, with all thy mind, right? And lean not into thine own understanding. Don't go into your own understanding of things. That includes the ministry, and that includes also with you in general, right? Don't lean into your own understanding. When you're dealing with anxiety and depression, don't let those things get in the way of you living your life, or get in the way of you sustaining in this truth. Those are demons or spirits messing with you, and you got to rebuke those spirits, man. Read these scriptures, rebuke those demons in the names of Yahweh Bashim Shai. Read these scriptures, because demons is actually, them spirits is actually afraid of you. Demons is actually afraid of us, man. But if you got the spirit of fear, it's like they smell it off of you. And once these demons know that you're fearful and that you're afraid, or you're afraid of them, they're going to begin to take advantage of your spirit. They're going to draw and feed off of your energy of your spirit. That's how demons do. They grow attached onto you. And as they grow attached onto you, they begin to take control over your vessel. You don't want that. And I'm just speaking for real. You don't want that shit. You'll find yourself in a psych ward somewhere, or bugged out somewhere. You got to, or find yourself killing yourself. You be hanging yourself somewhere. You got to fight these spirits. These are demons. It says, in all thy ways, acknowledge him. Acknowledge Yahweh Bashim Shai, and he shall direct your paths. He shall direct your paths. Give it to the Lord. Give it to the Lord. Whatever you're dealing with. Relationships, issues, conflicts, spiritual attacks, whatever it is that's bringing you to this lower state, rebuke it in the name of Yahweh Bashim Shai and keep it pushing. Okay? Keep it pushing. Even if you are in a relationship and your spouse leaves you, stay focused on the Lord. That's what kept me sustaining this long. Keep pushing. Give all your cares upon the Lord. Don't let nothing or no one stop you from glorifying the Lord, man. You keep pushing. You keep teaching. You Israelite brothers, keep pushing. You keep teaching. You Israelite women, you stay sustained and focused in the Lord. Let the Lord be your guide. Stop trying to lead on your own. Same thing with you brothers. Stop trying to lead on your own. Let the Lord lead and guide you. That's how you're going to pull through. If not, and you try to take every single matter or every single issue on your own to do, you're going to fall. You're gonna fall, man. Let the Lord lead and guide you. You be patient. You wait upon the Lord, and he'll give you an answer. He's been there for me. The Lord will give you answers, man. But you got to be patient. You can't just go and just take all these matters literally into your hand. And now this is what the Lord said unto Jeremiah, all right? And I like this scripture. Jeremiah 29:11. It says, for I know the thoughts that I think towards you, right? This is the Lord speaking, saith the Lord. Thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. And you see that? Now, even though the Lord was speaking to Jeremiah here, you still got to take this in consideration with ourselves, because Jeremiah was an Israelite. And the same thing with us. We're in this present time now. The Lord knows our thoughts. He knows his thoughts towards us. So hell with the fuck what everybody else is talking about, right? It says Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the thoughts that I think toward you. The Lord knows his thoughts toward you, right? So that's why I say you may be at work and you may feel like, people may look down at you at work, but the Lord don't look at you like that. They do, but the Lord don't look at you like that. It says, "For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace," right? It says, "And not of evil. I give you an expected end." And that's what the Lord said unto Jeremiah. But still, that still refers to us. So, hey, I just had to do a quick hit lesson out there, for you brothers and sisters out there that's feeling low, you feeling depressed, you feeling anxious with anxiety, going through things, you just feel overwhelmed, you just feel so oppressed. These are spirits, man. You rebuke these demons, fast, lots of prayer, continually seek the Lord, give all your issues and afflictions and stress to the Lord. Okay? Give it to the Lord. Prayer. Prayer is a must. Get back to prayer. Get back to reading scriptures. I'm speaking to myself first and foremost. Get back to these scriptures. Stay focused. Stay focused. Stay focused, man. All right? Stay focused. So, hey, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I pray it helped you. You stay focused. On to the next one. Shalom.